It's like, revolutionary listening to hip hop and going on like looking up the lyrics and just getting a description of what they might be talking about, hearing about certain areas, and I think language is the key because it's about words, and this goes back to poetry, but and it goes to imagination. But looking at somebody who's just speaking on a stage, and spoken word, I think is the highest form of art in terms of it has a rhythm, but it's no rhythm because it's just a person speaking, but it's the flow and rhythm of a person's voice. Then it's the words that paint the picture without a painting, and a movie, everything directed, hand motions which give the tonality to it, aggression here, calm here, you know what I'm saying? Everything comes together, and it's like a whole energy is created off of the energy of the person, the strength of the person, the strength of the words, the beauty of the words, the descriptiveness of the words, and for a person to sit and have an image painted in their mind because somebody else painted it for them in their mind. Well, might have painted it for them in their mind, but it takes the individual's imagination, which has its own unique, coming together, its own unique expression of it. It's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? And really, when we look at the neutrality of it, that's what it's about, So you know how revolutionary these ideals is, how we could just tap into anything and hit a different nerve that could just make us great in a snap of a second, you know what I'm saying? Just by tapping in, just by being tuned in to the moment, to ourselves, to what our energy is saying, to positive and just health and natural, to everything natural. You know what I'm saying? We gotta ask ourselves how much of our world is really natural. You know what I'm saying? Forget the food, living in rectangular and square boxes and shit, you know what I'm saying? We got, like, it's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird. I ain't gonna front. Walking down the hallway and you see your life kind of in front of you and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit weird. Not weird in a bad way, but seeing how fly you be. Man, fly OD, man. Shoo. Look at pre-12 years old Andrew had the clean fade. Pre-12 or after 12, it's like, damn, acne and shit. Fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit be coming fast, bro. Like, life come at you fast, Man, oh man. Good thing I ain't get that fade all the time. My hairline would have been crazy back, but that fade looked good. Damn. That fade was smooth. I ain't gonna front. Man, that's crazy. But it's really wild, just see your life kind of reflected in front of you and shit. People gotta stand up for what they believe in and become who they are, or become who they gonna be, because that is natural. It's natural for what we put out to get back in return, because that's what it is. That's what's circulated upon us, It's about love your family, man. Love your brothers. Love your sisters. But like, I love reflection, because that, like I'm talking about, is part of the beauty of poetry, because you're able to get that aha moments, like, oh, that's what I was thinking, And poetry has been beautiful to me, and that goes back to hip hop and reading lyrics, and just the what the combinations of words, and how the words are in combination, just like how everything comes together in a poem. It can unlock something like never seen before, you know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing. Never even thought about, thinking about thoughts that's never even been thought before. You want to talk about artistry, you want to talk about creativity, It's not about this politic fight for one idea over another. It's like, how are you thinking about something in your own unique way? Really tapping into your makeup. You know what I'm saying? Your chemistry. You know, gotta be balanced, man. Gotta take in everything. Gotta be open-minded. You know, but firm. You gotta be adaptable, but firm. Firm in your principles, firm in your values, firm in your morals, firm and at least who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Not who you are and who you want to be. You know, and integrating it as best you can, step by step, every day. You know, the person you want to become. If you want to get stronger, you gotta move your muscles, right? If you want to be loving, you know, hit the people up that you care about. You know, set up time with them. You know what I'm saying? Be open to their ideas and their growth. That keeps you humble. Don't think that you just because you got some new information about the ways of the world, you know, and you uncovering all these secret pathways of how people be operating, bro. It's human nature to be, you know, for people to be self-interested in themselves and go about their own flow. Of course, they gotta be in their own flow. But how your flow and their flow come together, that's the intertwinement, you know. That's why it either connects or it don't. You know what I'm saying? That's why anxiety or just it's that transmittance of information that's telling you rising higher or there's something greater you need to strive to connect to, you know. That's what it is. You know, we can't exist in our comfort zones. You want to talk about a new whole creation, a new being coming out of the womb? You want to tell me that's a comfortable situation? It don't even know what comfortable is. You feel me? But yeah, we grow up with pretty much with the ideas of others telling us what we gotta be, rather than us figuring out, you know, on ourselves or just listening to ourselves. You know, our internal nature, just sitting and listening, not always go, like really just chilling back for a second. Chilling back for 1 second. Know what I'm saying? Home is where the heart is. That's the biggest lesson I learned during this time. Home is where the heart is. That's a fact. And family. And growth, you know? Shit, we better be patting ourselves in the back. We making it through this. You feel me? Whatever. Cause that's what I'm saying. Like, we're trying to fight a system that was never made for us to begin with. You know, so when I talk about the beauty of poetry and that aha moment, it's because you're not tapping into something political. You tapping into something 100% unique, never thought about before, never experienced before, never felt before. You know? You know what I'm saying? People want us to be harping over certain issues, but think about the glory like people have been experiencing. Think about the true beauty of the soul and spirit, you know, tapped into the neutrality of the universe, and all it is just the telekinesis in order to manifest the glory and beauty they want to see. Like, pyramids was made off of the mind, dog. That's a fact. Acknowledge the glory inside you, you know? And people with that affinity for spirituality, they've known that voice all their whole lives. They've gotten that message from their angels and their ancestors and the universe itself and the earth. You know, it's about picking that phone up, about being open. Picking that phone up and knowing that you got to be told something, you know? That don't mean you got to listen, but you got to hear, you know? Got to adapt, but you got to be firm in what's right and standing up for that and being upstanding, uplifted, you know? But that's really where the consciousness comes in, right? You know? Growing up into a certain ideal, into a certain mental framework which, you know, upholds you and kind of keeps you surviving, right? You know? Is it thinking creatively or thinking to survive? Is anyone better? I'm saying? Shit, you could be stressing about your hairline, you feel me? Meanwhile, monks is bold out here and chilling and zen, you know? And first world problems, third world problems, and then you ask yourself, what's a world? You telling me there's different worlds out here? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? All there is the earth. Though it's like, well, we gonna have socioeconomic statuses for the first, second, and third world. I guess that's the GDP, right? That's the gross domestic product. What each country making, and the country itself is just a whole other tribe, whole other tribalistic, primalistic, defensive kind of. I mean, defense ain't even that. Being in the defense ain't even that bad, but that's the being firm. But maybe that's not even defensive. That's why you can't even really think of it like in terms of polarities. Like the binary is whack, dog. It's what people fighting for. That bum ass binary to get out of here. It's like it's not one thing or the other. It's everything and one thing at the same time. It's all things and one thing at the same time. It's an expression. It's an individual, unique flow based on the circulation of ideas and how it was upheld in the decision. Like, really, it don't even be that much. You know what I'm saying? It's like end up confusing yourself. It's like, oh, you gotta be so intellectual and so deeply in tune spiritual. And like, nah, like, leave the world. Just leave the world. No, the system ain't made for us. Find yourself within yourself, you know, and you got to take yourself out of yourself in order to be yourself. You can't be in constant reflection of, oh man, when I was this age, I was so this. Like, what? Of course I was faster when I was a kid. I was in proportion. You feel me? But when you grow up and your legs get longer, you're going to be running how you running. Is you eating right? Is you limb and loose and smooth? I mean, look at you stretching. But you be getting scared though. Why you don't be playful? Look at you. Trying to bite me. What's up? Yeah. Just give me a little love. That's all I need. But like, yeah. Man, but yeah, who knows about being defensive? I know you gotta be strong though. I know the binary is whack, like I was saying, polarities, and that's why the politicking is garbage, because you people be debating over stances. People be debating over what side of the fence they on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are y'all like? What are we really talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that just goes back to the whole world. Like, first, second, third world, they've already split up this world in so many different ways. The only thing, you know, the only thing a person who I feel is, the only thing I feel a person who's truly tapped into themselves will be focused on is the earth. And the earth as in felt through the heart, felt through the aura and the energy of the space they in, and the energy they carry in that space and what they take forward outside of their space. That goes back to the home is where the heart is. You know, we gotta ask ourselves, like, are we listening to the trees? You feel me? Like in New York with like there was a storm and the clouds was moving crazy fast. How many of those clouds was real? And they talking about chemtrails. And in movies they put in like fake clouds. Characters just with weapons and fake clouds, and they the big bad guys, or da 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 da. Like, bro, this is real, dog. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? We still focusing on what the news is telling us. You know how fast technology evolving? You feel me? So do you be intellectual or do you be technological? Is technological technical? You know what I'm saying? Talk about, man, that's interesting. Technological, logical, like what is that logic? You know what I'm saying? What is the etymology of logic? You feel me? But they want you to think that nigga retiring. They retiring logic. Like, come on. How they do that shit? We let them get away with that shit. Yeah. What's the earth, man? How the earth feeling? The earth. I remember feeling truly connected to the earth when in March and April when this was all popping off, and then for some reason it became an America, China, this, it became individualistic again before it really felt for a moment, yo, the whole world going through this. And now it's like, oh, this place is going through it worse than this place, and now it's just back to the same shit. Got worse. It really did. Then you ask yourself, what role does anger play? It's not about standing on one side of the fence or the other. Most of that shit be what? White picket fence? It's white picket and black riot, right? That's how they want to be wearing that shit. What is that? Semantics? Man. But what do? We burn the fence down or we burn the house down? Or did we look over and see if there was a bridge? So it's like, do we go into ourselves and be individualistic, or do we get back on that collective, the world kumbaya? But innately, some niggas Neanderthals, some niggas pure human, or whatever that mean. What's the earth? Man, fuck that herd mentality shit. Gotta find that balance though.